Hi, I'm Leslie McAllister and welcome to Yoga in the Music Studio. In this video, we're going to be talking about active poses that can be used either after a practice session or between practice sessions when you have been working for a long period of time. Perhaps you've been sitting in an instrument in a pose of forward flexion where you hunched over the instrument in the C-shaped slump, and you need poses to counteract that flexion with extension or back bends. We'll also be doing, in addition to those heart opening postures, some poses that improve spinal flexibility and flexibility in the hips as well, in case they've gotten tight from long periods of sitting. So we'll begin in tabletop position on your mat with your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. From here, we'll inhale to arch the back into cow pose looking up, and then exhale to round the back into cat pose looking through your knees and drawing your belly button into the spine. Cat-cow is great for improving spinal flexibility. It moves the spine through its full range of motion, forward and backward, and also alternately engages and stretches the muscles along the back and abdomen. It can also be a great relief for headaches. And if you've been sitting for a long period of time and your neck has been, or your head has been protruding in front of your neck, with your chin protruding outward, it can help to bring your head back into alignment with the neck. From here, we'll do one more cat pose, really pressing into our hands, lifting our belly button into the spine, taking space between those shoulder blades, and then we'll come back to that neutral position. Inhale here, lengthening the neck, and then exhale as you sink your hips back into child's pose. We'll stretch those arms in front of us, pressing into the palms. This is child's pose or balasana, which is a great restorative posture, good for calming and soothing the nervous system. You can stay here or you can move into a shoulder stretch. To do that, we'll inhale to lift the left arm up to the sky, looking up at the hand, and then exhale to thread that arm underneath the right arm, either pressing into your right hand, or if you'd like a little bit more of an intense shoulder stretch, reach the right arm overhead, stay there, or tuck that right hand into the hip crease on the left, looking over your right shoulder to increase that stretch. When you're ready to come out, simply take the right hand to the ground, lift and open up to the left, reaching the left arm overhead, and then stretch that left arm in front of you. Back into child's pose there, and now we'll move into that shoulder stretch on the opposite side, lifting the right arm up this time, and then threading it underneath the left, staying there, or reaching the left arm overhead, or taking it into the hip crease on the right, and looking over your left shoulder. We'll inhale, take the left hand to the ground, exhale, inhale and reach that right arm overhead, and then take the right arm, extending both arms straight out in front of you. We'll go ahead and move into a side stretch here, just opening up the side body by walking our hands over to the right and feeling a nice opening on the left side of the body, especially if you press into the left hand a little bit. Now we'll go ahead and walk over to the other side, walking over to the left. Again, this time pressing into the right hand and feeling that gentle opening on the right side body. We'll walk the hands back into center, and then we'll go ahead and come into downward facing dog by tucking the toes, pressing into the hands, and then lifting the hips up toward the sky. In downward facing dog, we'll go ahead and lift the heels off the mat and then press them back down a little bit closer to the earth. You can alternately bend each knee, pedaling out the legs, before coming to stillness in this pose. Now, if you're having any wrist pain at all in this pose, then you may want to come out of it or try a couple of modifications. One modification is simply rolling up your mat so that you lift the palms and the wrists off the ground a little bit higher. That enables us to bear less weight and less pressure on the wrists. Another option is to put a blanket under the hands as well. We want to have starfish hands with the fingers spread wide apart And think about bearing weight more on the base of the knuckles than on the palm of the hand. We can also think about drawing the meaty parts of the palm together a little bit to create a nice arch where the carpal tunnel runs. And that also will help to reduce the risk of any pain in the wrist here. From here, we're going to go ahead and lift the right leg up to the sky and then draw it forward. We're moving into half pigeon pose, taking the shin to the floor and then lengthening the left leg behind us. We lift and open up through our chest and shoulders. Now here, the more parallel the shin is to the front of the mat, the more intense the stretch is going to be. We do want to flex through the right foot to help protect the knee and ankle joints as well. Now if this pose is too intense for you, you can get the same sort of stretch by coming to a supine position and crossing one leg over the other in a figure 4. But if the half pigeon pose works for you, we'll come back to it and you can stay upright there, opening through the chest, or you can even fold down over that front leg into sleeping pigeon, bringing the head either over the arms or the forehead all the way to the mat. Just allowing for that opening through the right hip. This is great for tight hips, from sitting for long periods of time. It really helps to improve range of motion in the hips. When you're ready to come out, we'll go ahead and come up on our hands and then tuck the left foot, raise the right leg overhead, flexing through the foot, and then take it back into your downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is great for lengthening and stretching the spine, the back, while also integrating the 3 natural curves of the spine. It also strengthens the muscles of the back as well. Now here we're going to lift the left leg up to the sky and then draw it forward so that the shin comes to the mat at the front of the mat, coming into our half pigeon pose on the left. Adjusting as needed to take your shin either closer to your inner thigh or more parallel with the front of the mat, and then straightening your right leg behind you. We inhale to lift the chest, and then if you'd like to take it into a more intense stretch, you can lower your torso over that folded left leg. Lying down, you can also bring your forehead to your arms as well. Try to keep your weight even over your legs. So a lot of us will let our weight come over to the left a little bit. So see if you can keep it even so that you have weight over that right leg as well. Now we'll go ahead and take our hands to the mat, raise our torso, tuck our right foot, and then inhale to lift that left leg back overhead, and then set it down on the mat. One more inhale in downward facing dog, inhaling to lift the hips higher to the sky, and then exhaling to lower the torso a little bit closer to the legs. On your next inhale, set the knees down on the ground, and we're going to come to a seated position facing the center on the long side of your mat. So we're going to move into gate pose, which is a side stretch or a lateral bend. To do this, we'll take the left foot out to the side, checking to be sure that our right hip stays directly over our right knee. We'll inhale to lift and extend both arms overhead. Exhale to take the left hand down to the left leg. Inhaling to reach and look up at your right hand, and then exhaling to open up into that lateral bend. Keeping the bicep by the ear, keeping the chest nice and open, and looking up under your left arm. In Parigasana or gate pose, it's an intense side stretch. We're opening up the intercostal ribs on the left side of the body, which enables us to breathe more deeply. And this also provides a nice stretch, not only for the spine and torso, but also for the hamstrings as well, which is great for long periods of sitting. One more inhale to stretch a little bit more deeply. And as you exhale, bring both arms overhead, take them down to the floor, and then draw that right knee in to come back to kneeling pose on the mat. This time we'll move over to the opposite side. So we'll take the right leg out, pressing that right foot evenly into the ground, checking the alignment of your hip over your knee, and then inhaling to lift and extend those hands looking up. Exhale, take your right hand to your right leg. Inhale to lift and lengthen, looking up, and then exhaling to extend into that side bend. Again, keeping your right hand light on that leg, we open up this left side body, really opening up and feeling that side stretch, keeping the chest nice and open and lifted, and looking under that left arm. Inhale to reach a little bit more, and then exhale to lift, straighten both the hands overhead, and then take those hands down to the floor and take that left knee in, sitting back over your heels into hero's pose. From there, we're going to go ahead and take our feet out from underneath us, come to the long side of your mat again, extending the legs straight out in front of you. We're going to move into a twist, half lord of the fishes, or Ardha Matsyendrasana. So we'll take the right foot, we'll cross our right leg over our left, and we're going to lift the left hand, straightening it out overhead, and then tuck that left elbow around the right knee. Inhaling to lift and lengthen the spine, and then exhaling as you twist open to the right side of the room, looking out over your right shoulder. Twists are great after long periods of sitting because they wring out the spine. They can be a great pain relief if you've been hunched over an instrument for a long period of time. We'll inhale one more time, lengthen as you inhale. As you exhale, twist a little bit more deeply, and then go ahead and twist to the opposite side for a counter stretch, and then draw both legs straight out in front of you again. Moving into the opposite side, we'll cross our left leg over our right, flexing through our right foot. We're going to inhale and lift the right hand up to the sky. Exhale to cross the right elbow around the left leg, and then go ahead and twist open to the left side of the room. Inhaling to lift and lengthen the spine, and then exhaling to twist a little bit more deeply. Looking out over the left shoulder. If you draw your belly button inward, you may be able to twist even more deeply. Take one more inhale to lengthen, one more exhale to twist, and then twist to the opposite side for a counter pose, and then draw both legs straight out in front of you, flexing through the feet for a brief staff pose, and then we'll move into a forward fold. So we'll draw the palm of that right foot in to press into the left inner thigh. Inhale to lift both arms overhead, and then exhale as you fold forward over that left leg. You can reach the floor, your shin, or your foot if it's possible. Inhale to open, lift the heart, and then exhale to fold down over that leg. Releasing the head to the knee into head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. Take another inhale to provide more space between the vertebrae, lengthening the back, drawing the belly button in as you extend a little bit more deeply into that forward fold. Inhale, reach with the crown of your head, and then exhale to walk the hands up the leg. We'll switch sides, so take the right leg out straight this time. Bring the left foot in, pressing into the right inner thigh. Take a moment to line up your belly button with your leg. Inhale to lift the arms overhead, and then exhale to fold forward, taking the hands to wherever you can reach, shin or foot. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale to lower down into that forward fold. Releasing the forehead to the leg if it reaches. Inhaling to lengthen. Feeling that stretch through your hamstring, through your calf, through your low back. And just relaxing into this restorative, and just relaxing into this calming forward fold. When you're ready to come out, inhale one more time to lengthen. Exhale to sink down a little bit more deeply. And then on your next inhale, walk the hands back up, draw the feet together, and that concludes our series of active poses to use following a practice session. Thank you so much for watching.